I want to talk about 10 things to adopt and practice financially. Number one, create an umbrella. When it rains outside, usually people grab their umbrella. Expect the chance of rain. It's kind of like that too. Our lives have a forecast that we may know already, but we don't know exactly how it's going to be. You want to have an emergency fund where if something bad happens to you, you don't want to be borrowing money from the bank or someone else. You're going to put yourself further in the hole. You also don't want to go to your family members and put a burden on them. You don't want to add stress to them, and you don't want to take away from them as well if they're not in a position to give. So it's good to have a rainy day fund, the umbrella. I had this inspiration that the Lord showed me. It's common sense. Typically, the person that's low income, living in say lower standard neighborhoods, it really work for anyone actually. But it goes based on percentage. That percentages is way more true than just a dollar amount because inflation and everything. For understanding purposes, you make $50,000 a year. Usually, a person works up to that point to gain that, or less than that, minus taxes and everything. But imagine your employer or from your business or investments, you make $50,000. They give you $50,000 right now, and you have to pay for your expenses. Budget out to zero. You have to live like this for the rest of the year. A lot of times, people who are older get paid once a month, sadly, through SSI. People are 401k using this primary income. When you hear an older person say, or a person that's on SSI say, I got a fixed income, they mean they have to budget out that money for the rest of the month, and they really don't have any additional income coming in, so it's like a stagnant progress. But if you take $50,000 and you cut that in half and use that for your living expenses, bills, and whatever else expenses you might come up with throughout the year, and the other half, the $25,000, you'll save and invest that, and you would do it over a course of maybe, let's say, 7 to 8 years, you're $100,000 in compound interest over time, budgeting down to zero. Whatever your income is after taxes, you have to give to Uncle Sam. You want to budget down to zero. And what that means is you want to give what I call give every dollar an assignment or mission or name. Your things will be done decently in order. You won't be found spending money that you didn't think you spent. You won't say, where did all this money go? Because usually when we get money and we don't think about it, we can spend a lot of money very quickly. We want to budget in entertainment or fun or going out to eat and everything like that. I know it's going to be strenuous. I know it's going to seem redundant. It's going to seem like you probably have no life, but you will have a life later on when you take care of your finances. That's number 3. Moving on. Top favorite out of the 10 I'm going to show you today is invest. Please invest. Please invest. When you come from a low income background and you're trying to build wealth, a lot of times you're asking, especially when you see others who are succeeding in this world, millionaires, billionaires, how did they get all this money? They might have hit the lottery, born in a rich family, had a silver spoon in their mouth, or they just had a lucky break. They knew certain people, but we live in a time right now, especially here in this year, with all the technology and all the opportunities that are available to us, especially through the mobile device, that anyone can build wealth. You might need patience. I know this scripture or whatever, not trying to throw too much Bible at you, but this is true. Let your patience have her perfect word that you may be complete and entire, lacking nothing. I believe that's in James chapter 1 verse 4. Definitely when it comes to the stock market, you have to have patience. Sometimes it moves faster, sometimes it moves slower, going up or down. So please invest. One of the platforms I invest with is WEBULL. I invested with TD Ameritrade. I invested with E-Trade before I stopped using them. It was ComputerShare. A very strong engine to build your wealth, and you might see even 7 to 10% and 11% returns per year. I'm not a financial advisor, just telling you this for educational purposes, but you want to invest if you want to see that you move forward in progress. I thought it was a super ultra convenience, and that's credit card. But if you think about it this way, it's really borrowing someone else's money and you have to pay it back. If you don't pay it back on time, they usurp usury on you, but in our time and language it's called interest. You don't want to be on the bad side of a loan. You don't want to be quick to shake hands. When you go to the banks or financial institutions, one of their wealth builders is selling you debt or giving you debt so you can buy that luxury item, or you can feel like you're freer financially. It gives off an illusion. Credit cards are cool as long as you pay them off on time every month. You don't know what you're getting into. So if possible, avoid credit cards. The borrower is slave to the lender. You don't want to be a slave, you want to be a king. Tell Uncle Sam to give you a discount. Because Uncle Sam is going to get his. Usually nowadays, it's automatically deducted from your check before you see it. It's taking my money without my permission. I think it should be a little bit more transparent. But Uncle Sam takes your money for the country's, bureaucracies and activities and defense and all this. At least that's what I know. Wherever you go, you're going to pay taxes. That's just something we have to do as a society. Imagine no police officers, no fire departments, something like this. So believe and know that they're paid from our tax dollars. So don't think you're just throwing your money away. It's going to a good cause, as far as we know. Also imagine if Uncle Sam was outside your door and you are always reminded every time you get paid. You see Uncle Sam with his hand out saying, it's time to pay up. You would feel a lot different about him, and you might even want to fight him. Stay away from my family, man. Stay away from my family. I gotta eat. You taking away from me. Show up here again. Show up here again and watch what happens to you. Uncle Sam should learn his lesson. Don't splurge if you don't plan to splurge first. Splurging is glorified in a lot of our entertainment. A lot of people want the money because they have this image of, fancy things. But splurging, some of us do it at times. We want to just spend freely, things our heart desire. Now, I'm not saying you can't have these things. In fact, every now and again, you're human, so you want to get some nice things. Splurge with a plan. Set aside some money for that. Particularly if you were going to do it, get it out in cash. Well, you have a cap. I wouldn't say splurge your debit or credit card because, hey, what's a few extra dollars over the budget? What's a few extra cents over the budget? When you get that attitude, then you'll be spending more than cents add up very quickly. Get an envelope and put entertainment, splurging, whatever you want to put on there to separate that. Don't mix business with pleasure. Don't be an Uncle Tom. But anyways, what I'm saying here is you want to make sure you learn this thing called compound interest. Einstein said it's the 8th wonder of the world. Look at the math and how fast your money could grow, especially if you just let it sit there and grow on its own. But add money to it, discipline every time you get your paycheck. With the compound interest, you can do a whole lot of wealth building very soon. Do a whole sweep on your finances. And most of us remember growing up in high school, you learn punctuality because you didn't want your parents to get on your back about you being late. And actually, punctuality is a trait that you want to hold on to growing up as well, because you want to get to the job on time. You want to do things on time. You have clients or customers in your own business. You want to be on time before the time to show that you're serious and that you're a man or woman of integrity. You don't want to be late and show up late. I actually learned my lesson. To be honest with you, I was late a lot in my career and in my careers back in the past, and I've learned I had so much mercy shown to me. If you're not on time, you lose money and credibility. So you want to be on time, but you want to. It's more of a mental thing. And from my experience, you gotta want to do it. You gotta know it's important. So do a hall sweep on your finances. Get up early upon your finances. In fact, budgeting before you can get paid. If you know what you're gonna get paid, you want to budget ahead of time. First thing you want to do is put the budget plan down in writing before you get there, so you can know what type of model and format you can work with to find out what dollar's gonna go here, what dollar's gonna go there. Things are disorganized, and most likely they're gonna fail. That's what I heard. Now organized, you're gonna fail. In all labor, there's profit. So you may think that because you worked or did a favor for someone that you're not getting paid for it. We live in a time where immediate gratification is supposed to be the satisfaction. If you're doing a good deed, you don't want to go with the mindset, oh, what I'm going to get out of this later. The Lord will pay you back. And also, I wanted to say this too. If you actually love to do something, you want to get paid for that. Like when you look on TV, look on social media and stuff like that, these people that are wealthy or building their wealth, they're getting paid for what they do. So when you look at YouTube, a lot of times you see those advertisements. Those guys and those women are getting paid to do what they love to do, and it just makes it even more worthwhile because you're getting an incentive for what you love to do. So it doesn't feel like work, but it feels like you're free. So you want to make sure you put the necessary things in place to get paid for what you do. Don't just do it for nothing, because most likely it probably won't be seen or heard. If you want to write a book or something, you want to go ahead and get that paid for it. so that way you can continue to produce what you love doing. Thank you. This has been great, my stars. Have a great day, and make sure you take care of those finances and down the word to our children so we can have a better community in that aspect. Have a blessed one.